What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Amy, and today we're gonna talk some like beginner riding tip stuff. One of the things that I will bring up right now is, I do this like subconsciously, but like checking your bike, making sure everything looks good. I just cleaned the chain yesterday. Look at that paste. Paste is the good stuff. Don't go with that cheap spray. That just gets all over your dang tires and your wheel. So go with the good stuff. And the other thing is just kind of like do a visual, I checked my tires and they were both low. I have to show you guys. I got this like portable tire thing that you could just easily hook up, and it doesn't need any power. You just charge it off USB. So, just kind of check and make sure everything looks good. Nothing hanging off the bike. And sometimes I go through the checks of like the lights and stuff. I ride often enough that it's like I'll know, you know what I mean, if something lights out or something. So I got the microphone double wind muffed today. So I'm like, I might stop halfway through this ride and just check it manually on the camera. Should be looking good. Okay. Because yeah, it's just been challenging finding the right spot on the helmet. So right now it's between the cheek pad and my cheek. But if I could find a place to put it down by my mouth, I don't know, it's like the chin skirt is so thin there. I just feel like the wind would be worse. But I'm hoping this double wind muff thing I've got going on at least gives me halfway decent audio. My bike is a he. If you're a girl, you gotta have a he bike. I call him Dream Chaser. So, Amy's rocking some new kicks thanks to Stylmartin. Look at these Italian shoes. Yeah, they hooked me up. And, man, it's my favorite shoe company. I don't know if you guys have seen my shoes in the other videos. I had like these high top sneaker looking things with sparkly stuff on them. Yeah, that was Stylmartin. I've had those for like 2.5 years. So they've held up really nice. They're very comfortable. Make sure this is closed. Alright, so I got a question about, as a beginner rider, highway stuff. So like, how do you build up to getting on and off the highway, like, getting comfortable on the highway, that kind of thing. So I thought, let me just make a video about it, because that'll be easier than me answering just the question. How we get on gas? I guess we're okay. So, gotta go. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like kind of talk some tips as we go through town, and then I'll actually get on the highway to kind of demonstrate it. But basically, one of the things to note is, we do the bike inspection, right? Make sure everything's good. You don't be getting on the highway and, your trim is falling off or something crazy. What else? Work up to it. Like, you don't have to be ready to go on the highway like, day one. You could start out just, in town. Speed limits are, 35, 45. It's funny because when I started riding, the speed limits where I lived in the country in Florida, it was like, the town was really small, so most of the speed limits were 55. So I kind of had to, like, either stick to the back roads or, just buck up. So, yeah, if you got a little town around, it is what it is. But if you got, like, some driving like this, you could just get used to doing this kind of stuff first. You don't need to be speed demon it. But once you're confident, you got the handle of the bike, you've got controls, you feel like, okay, I can shift. Like, I was scared to go all the way to 6th gear. Like, when I first started, I'm like, oh my gosh. You could be in 6th gear in some of these big bikes around town if you wanted to. Actually, on the little bikes too. Yeah, because I think I had a Ninja 650 as my first bike, and I think, if I remember right, I would be in like 4th gear, maybe 5th in town. And then, of course, you get on the highway, you want to be in the higher gear if you want that smooth ride. But another idea to do is just, you're going to have these entrances and on-ramps. So you're going to need to be comfortable leaning your bike a little bit. I'm not saying you have to take it like, some GP racer, but just get comfortable being able to kind of feel that bike, as you're leaning into it, because every freaking highway entrance almost is going to have some sort of lean to it, and some of them are extremely sharp. So take your time. I highly recommend do not be in 1st gear, because some bikes, either if you're in 1st gear, your RPMs are going to be like crazy high. You don't want that. Even this bike, like, I do it now because I'm really comfortable on this bike, but when I first got it for a couple of years, I never got below 2nd gear on an on-ramp, because you're going to have more torque in that throttle hand, right? So just keep that in mind. Depending on the bike, you're probably going to be in 2nd or 3rd gear. Get comfortable, get on those ramps, and you don't have to be on the highway for a long period of time. Just practice, like, going from exit to exit. If you're in a town where, like, you've got exits kind of close together, maybe 1-2 miles apart, that's perfect. Build up. As you get used to being on the highway, having cars, like, flying around you, because you're probably going to be going slower than them, like, at first. And, we'll talk merging here in a second, but just get comfortable. No need to, like, put the pedal to the metal, feeling like you have to jump right in, and I gotta be on the highway for, 20 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever. Just little baby steps. That's all you gotta do. And then as you get more confident in that, just start going a couple more exits. Instead of just doing one exit, you go 2 or 3 and turn around, come back. And that gives you practice also getting on and getting off. So once you kind of feel good about that, then you're kind of like, okay, how do I feel about the speed factor, the merging? Because I remember being scared myself, like, in the beginning, like, I was scared. Like, day one, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going 35 miles an hour. And it was, like, freakishly fast to me. But, that was just on a back road. I don't think I even got on the highway for the longest time, because where I used to live in Florida, it was so far away. I was like 40 minutes away to get to the dang highway. So eventually I did, but you know, depending on what state you live in, by the way, is going to depend on how much traffic you have to deal with, because that's a big factor too, guys. Like the traffic factor. Try to go ride at, like, I don't know, for me it's worked out well to ride like 10 a.m. to like 11:30. You know, you kind of want to hit that sweet spot where people are already at work, you know, if this is a weekday, and people haven't gone on to lunch yet. There's like a little window there. Now, if it's like the weekend, earlier the better. In most cases, people aren't up, you know, like super early. So, you know, if you could get yourself out there sun up, that's perfect. You know, get out there, get on the highway, get some practice, and just experience the highway without so many cars, you know, because like I said, it's going to depend on where you live, what city, what state, to how much you, oh, I didn't know that was close, to how much you have to deal with, you know. Quick turnaround. It would have been nice if they'd set it way back there. I forgot. I think I knew this road was closed. Trying to stay where the speed limits is a little bit lower so you guys can hear me good. Because that's the most important thing on these motovlogs. Darn it. So, anyways, where was I? Yeah, okay, so the traffic factor, right? I'm hoping it's not too windy. I had to open the top vent for a minute. The traffic factor is going to, you know, it's going to make your riding more fun or less fun. So that's why I encourage you, you know, try to get on the highway if you can when it's not so busy. Next, which lane should you ride in? Okay, so I remember starting out, and the highways, some of them in Florida were 2 lanes, some were 3. If it was a 2 lane, you know, I would usually stick to the passenger lane unless I was passing, because I didn't want some car on my butt, you know. As I got comfortable with the, you know, handling the speed factor and, you know, just maneuvering around cars and whatnot, I would then be in the, you know, left lane. But if it's a 3-lane highway, I highly encourage you to not be in the passenger lane, be in the middle or the left lane, because you're going to have a lot of traffic merging on and off, things to, like, you know, slow down for and whatnot in that far right lane, because that's, you know, usually the slow lane, right? So just keep those things in mind. That's an interesting looking bike. It's like a cafe racer, I think. Yeah, so what else? Oh, like, okay, so this is just kind of basic stuff, like the road. Some roads, you know, have that peak in the middle. When I lived in Texas, it was like a really sharp peak because they didn't have like proper drainage systems there, so they had to kind of like build their road like with this peak in the middle, and you didn't want to I didn't ride down there, but you didn't want to be on that part where it's like sloping. You want to be where it's, you know, flat. And just be mindful, you know, because like say there's a big truck in front of you, you know, and you don't want to be like stuck behind them, right? Try to always pass these semis and things like that, because they can't see you, you know. Even if you're in their mirrors, like, you're so small compared to a freaking semi truck, okay? Like, don't risk them not being able to see you. Just pass. Like, my little Ninja 650, I used to be kind of nervous, you know, passing, because it wasn't super fast by any means. I'm like, people just put on a signal, especially if you're like turning suddenly. Yeah, signaling. Oh my gosh, please use your signals. Don't just assume that people know you're merging, even though you're merging. Don't just assume it. Make sure to use that signal. And I use my hand. You'll see sometimes I use my hand to kind of signal like this kind of number on the highway when I'm merging, especially if I know I'm going to like kind of cut across some lanes. But you know, don't worry about that right away. Just get in that passenger lane initially. And what else? So okay, so when you are merging, like getting up to speed, like if you got a smaller CC bike, okay, get through those gears. Don't be trying to wind it out because you ain't going any faster, right? It's gonna be like an issue if you are, you know, way down in second or third and your dang bike tops out at 45 in third gear. And just watch that red line. You know, you never want to be over here. That's bad. Even this bike, like it's flashed and tuned. I think they moved the limiter from 11 to 11.5. I never go past that because I'm smart. You don't want to put that stress on your engine. What else? Yeah, okay, so when you're getting on, you know, go through those gears. You got a small bike, get up to that 6th gear, and just be mindful. You know, always be looking in your mirrors. Like, are there cars, you know, about to get in front of you? Like, you kind of just riding a motorcycle. You really have to develop your sixth sense, okay, where you can kind of read what people are about to do. And you're gonna pick this up as much, you know, when you start to ride a lot, you'll see what I mean. You're just gonna have this knowledge, you know, like maybe a car moves just a certain way, and you're like, oh, they're about to put their signal on, they're about to turn. Look at this guy with this hay. Yeah, this is why you wear a helmet, y'all. Like, who wants all that crap in their face? Come on. Alright, we need to get in front of this guy. Yeah, I don't stand for that crap. Drives me nuts when people, like, just leave their stuff exposed. Okay, so we're gonna get on the highway here in just a sec. And I'm just gonna kind of, like, motion-wise do all the things I'm telling you to do. Yeah, it's so second nature to me now. It's like I had to really think about it, and I would just have told you as I'm doing it, but it's gonna get loud with the wind. So let's get on the highway here. Okay, so just watch your exits and your entrances, because this is always a busy spot, you know, in town, right? People getting on and off the highway. This is where you're mindful. You're looking. Make sure nobody's coming this way. Okay, so we're getting on. We got a little lean. Going through our gears. Keep looking over your shoulder, okay, as you get comfortable.